Beautiful, lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. Let's talk about utility in Rainbow Six Siege. It's something that is very, very important if you want to make your firefights easier, if you want to clutch play out the game. One of the big issues with Rainbow Six Siege and that a lot of people struggle with is the fact that you get shot from multiple angles, you get run from behind, and because the time to kill is so fucking fast, and the hitbox on each operator is so huge, it is very easily to just get down from an angle, and that's where utility comes in. This will be mainly talked about from the perspective of an attacker, but we will also do dabble into some of the defensive tactics that you can use utility on. This does not only affect Rainbow Six Siege, this affects Counter-Strike and also the upcoming project in Valorant or whatever you want to call it, Project 8, the FPS from Riot, that a lot of people are very hyped about. A lot of the tactics that we'll be covering in this video will also affect that video. So, of course, a like on the video helps. Again, YouTube algorithm really does help. Let me know if you guys want to see more Rainbow Six Siege content. I do want to expand out into more games, so that always helps. Same goes for the comment. Comment down your opinion, tips, anything, your thoughts on this video, your thought on me doing other video games, is anything I should check out. All of that, including video suggestions, really does help out. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. But with no further ado, let's begin. Now, so before we start taking a look at really the how to use utility in Siege, we gotta talk about utility in traditional. So what is traditional utility? And it's quite easy. You can break it into about 3 different types. I will break it into 4 different types because it is far more effective that way. First one is zoning or area denial. This is a long-term area denial. If you play Counter-Strike, you probably know this as the Molotov, right? A form of incendiary device that will land in an area and affect that with an area of effect that will deal damage, right? In Overwatch, this can be equivalent to a Diva Bomb, which is a far shorter version of an area denial. Or a Hand to Dragon Strike will be put damage in an area, so you cannot play there anymore without dying. Molotovs is the equivalent in Counter-Strike, and in Rainbow Six Siege, this is stuff like, for example, Kappa Tao's crossbow, where he fires an area that will start burning. Now, the other one is a straight-up area denial. Not a long-term, not a zoning area denial, just a straight-up area denial, such as frag grenades, right? So if you're playing Buck, you will have access to frag grenades. You can toss them in an area, and if they stay there, they will die. If they move, then you're already forced them to move. If they are, then you can either shoot them during their rotational move, for example, if they're camping in the corner, or you can just deal some extra nice damage. If it doesn't do full damage, it will do some damage. They will be low, and there's a higher chance of you taking them out of that fight. Now, this of course is very, very common to use, but we'll talk a little bit about very common mistaken when people are using these for nades. Outside of that, you can create soft cover, which is normally something like smoke grenades, right? A lot of operators have access to smoke grenades. Recruit, Montana, Glass, Fuse, Blitz, Jackal, Dokapi, and Gridlock all have access to smoke grenades. And this is called a soft cover. Even though in Rainbow Six Siege we have something known as a soft surface, as a wall that you can shoot through, or a wall that you can break up with a normal breaching charge or a frag grenade, this is a soft cover because it does block LOS. So there's no way that whoever you're fighting with against right there and there will be able to see you. Definitely can't shoot you unless you're either super fucking lucky or aimbotting. There's no way they can shoot you, meaning that angle is blocked off. They can of course push through the smoke. That's a viable option. However, normally pushing through a smoke is very risky, as you will be pushing into an area you have no clue where the enemy is, and the enemy might hold that angle still, or at least be prepared for something on that angle, making it much, much more difficult for the enemy team to do anything if you drop that smoke. They can still move through it. It's not an area denial, but it does block off LOS, right? And that can be a really good way of just covering an angle, because again, you can zone an area with a Molotov or some form of incendiary device, but they can still shoot through the Molotov. They can still see you through the Molotov, through the fire, but they can't see you through the smoke. So it's a good way to just stop them from actually dropping bullets down range and have an accurate shot on you. And the last one is the most important one in my opinion, and that is something that's not used that much, and that's the entry tool, also known as the flashbang. And a flashbang is so important because this is the main way that you peak hard scoping angles, right? Somebody's camping the area that you want to push through, or if there's multiple enemies in one room that can very quickly turn on you as soon as you push through and you need to push. Flashbang helps you by taking some of those out of the fight, slowing down the reaction time, and actually giving you time to clear the room, clear the corners that you want to clear, and get the the frags. It also makes the enemy team move their crosshair away. So if you're playing in a lower elo, for example, if you're playing gold or silver in Rainbow Six Siege, a lot of people can it's very easy to put your crosshair on a doorway and just hold that and then march one as soon as somebody walks through, right? But it's a whole different case to have to flick away to dodge the flashbang and then flick back to the same spot as your opponent is now pushing through the doorway. That is so much more difficult, and if it gives you a huge advantage as you're stopping them from focusing on fucking hard scoping you and forcing them to move away from you. Now, Rainbow Six Siege is very, very, very weird because there's some operators that fulfill different roles, and there's different variations of a lot of these tools. For example, if you want to be very, very aggressive in entry, you can pick Ying, right? The enemy has to turn away from your bombardment of insane amounts of flashbangs, but you don't due to Ying's passive and the fact that she doesn't get hit by her own flashbangs. So the fact that you can just toss it one of these and flash in entire room and peek without having to hide your back first allows you to be super, super, super aggressive. You can also send them up to fly through a special part of the wall. There's a lot of them and last for a long period of time, and that's, for example, something that you can't do in a game like CS. If you wanna do an area denial or an entry denial, you can pick Fuse, of course, right? And this is super, super used in most elo just for getting kills, but it can also and more commonly be used to take a room or an area without risking peeking angles, right? You nade the room, you force them to either move out of the room or at least move them to a very, very limited area of the room, which makes it so much easier for you to scope the angle. And that way you have either cleared the room, gotten frags, made them low, or limited the amount of angles you have to clear because you know that there will be explosives. So if you don't have a drone, you don't have intel on a room you need to take, just fusing that room gives you so much control over it very, very quickly, and really quickly gives you map control over that part of the area, allows you to quickly peek and do something else. Now, gridlock is like my favorite because gridlock has a molly that lasts forever, giving her zoning or area denial that can slow down the enemies or make an angle obtainable, right? So let me show a really, really good example of me doing this. Okay, so we are playing on Theme Park, and this is just a little bit of a casual game, but it still really just shows how good gridlock can be. So it's really, really simple. I want to push through the window on this part of the map. So I want to come through second floor here. I've walked up the stairs. I've already droned out some of these areas, right? But I need to move sooner or later. My team is already starting to push in. I don't want them to push in through stupid angles, get picked off. So I want to be active here, right? If I just stay outside now when I drone all my stuff, sometimes that's something that you have to do. But if I do that, there's a chance that my team will push in. I won't be there to cover them. I won't be there to be capitalizing on their deaths, or them feeding, or them just losing a gunfight. I won't be there to capitalize on it and quickly be left in a 1v5. So instead, I'll do it this way. So I'm very scared when I move through the doorway over here. I'm really, really scared of a couple of things. First, there might come a roamer upstairs and take me out. Now, I've already joined this area and my teammate is already in it, so I know there's nobody that's gonna shoot me as I go through the window. So that thing is kind of safe. However, I don't know where they will come from. So what I want to do, I want to use gridlock to area denial the stairs. That way, again, they can still break my gridlock. They can still go in, but then they have to shoot their way through it or slowly but surely move their way through it, and that is really good for me. Because that way I'm buying myself time, I'm giving myself information. There's no way I would just get rush peek from the staircase while I'm scoping another angle. That's the very first one. Now my team will end up clearing this room for me, so I don't have to care about that. But I don't want to get peeked from this area as well, right? That can be another angle. As you can see here, it's very easily, they can access it from here. They could access it from bathrooms over here, right? So I don't want that. So I want to block off this angle as well with my gridlock. Now I'm sure that my back is safe. So I don't have to worry about that, and I can focus on what's ahead of me. I want to move in up here, and I want to just clear this room with my scope. I know that there's nobody that's going to shoot me from here. I've already cleared that angle. Of course, at this point, somebody might rush like that, but I know that my teammate is going to be stationed here and hold this angle, so I know that that won't happen. So I'll clear this room just to make sure there's nobody hiding here, because that sometimes happens. And then I want to air it in out these stairs. Again, now I blocked off most ways to get up to second floor. Will have to be shooting, or there had to be some form of noise to get up to second floor. Now I burn all my gridlocks. Now I can no longer air denial anything. However, I can still create soft cover because I run with smoke nades. And this is where I want to smoke off areas where I'm expecting to get peeked. So for example, if you see if I want to push through this room right here, I'll zoom in a little bit. If I want to push through if I want to push through into one of these rooms, right? If I just want to push from here and I want to enter one of these rooms, there's going to be some breakable surfaces, right? I'm really scared that I might get shot from numerous angles, right? I don't want to get locked down with all these angles. So I'm going to smoke off 2 of them so I can focus on one. That's what we will see in this footage here. Let me see. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to go in here. I'm just going to scope a little bit. I don't know the map. And this is like the thing. I've not played R6 in a while. This is like me coming back. I'm playing Platinum right now. So, and I'm playing Theme in ages. Especially since I don't believe it's in the competitive map pool. So therefore, I'm uncertain, a little bit uncertain on the map. So this is how I'm playing it. You can see that how I'm playing it. Okay, so I'm kind of just going here, whatever. I'm kind of scoping, whatever. I'm just spiking down the stairs. This was actually bad of me because I first peeked the stairs with my gadget out. I should have peeked it with the scope. Unpeaked, taken out my gadget, then tossed it or bounced it off the wall, so I didn't peek here. That's a really bad utility mistake. Whatever. My teammate will clear this room here, but I'm still uncertain what will happen over here. Now that's just a railing, so I don't have to bother, so I'm gonna just trap that stuff up, and now start scoping. Now, again, I know that my right side is clear. I know there's somebody down here, or at least one of my teammates are from full damage, so I know we're down 1 player. And I'm gonna push over here. I'm just gonna slowly but surely clear this room. Whatever, and then go back. My teammate is holding my right side, so I know that the only area they can peek is my left side. I'm gonna gridlock the trap, the staircase here, so I'm sure that I'm safe from that, and then I'm gonna peek across here. Now, I'm just assuming at this point that this angle is safe, right? There's a drone here, I'm just assuming that this is safe, and going back in, pre-aiming this area. He just peeks right up, that's why we pre-aim our corners, right? Get a free kill here. Now, this is where stuff gets scary, right? Because there's a door straight, there's broken surfaces on my left, and then there's the open door on my right. 3 different angles, I have no clue. They can be peeking through this door, they can peek in the hallway, they can be peeking on the side, they can be peeking from my right side. I have no fucking clue where they're going to be peeking me from, and I can't cover 3 angles on my own. So I have 2 smoke nades. So I'm going to just quickly, just slowly clear this, right? Right now, I'm only peeking 1 angle at a time, right? I'm just going to slowly but surely peek. This is kind of safe. My teammate's going to breach in here, right? Whatever, just cover, pre-aim. I'm gonna smoke. There's a T there. You can see here that one of the enemies actually got spotted right before I smoked here, right? Then I'm gonna smoke my other side, which is straight here, and that's 2 angles now covered. They cannot shoot me through this, so I know that they're safe. They could of course still roam behind me now, but that's also why I'm pushing so aggressively. We're down 1 player. They are down 1 player. This is why now I want to go a little bit aggressive. So I'm going to push up here, look for an angle, and take this fight. And the reason I get this fight because I don't have to bother about anything else. I know that my right side is clear. I know that my back is clear. I know they're not flanking from behind the door, so my smokes are still useful. And that is the important part. Here I get 2 kills, and I play this so easily. This is so relaxing for me. I burn all my utility on this. Right now, no longer utility, but now I also have pretty much a good LOS and a good control over the objective, which hopefully will allow my team to fall in behind me and hopefully do something. And this is a very easy way for me to take control over this objective right now, and from here I can play it out. Now that's just a very, very simple example of how you can use utility to very quickly establish control by locking down angles slowly but surely. Now here's another example of me actually fucking up and playing this really badly, playing it from a bad position and really fucking this up, but still going out well because I use entry frag tools. So I am playing as Ash, which is one of my worst. I spot out one of the operators, right? I'm gonna run in here, I'm gonna break once, gonna break twice, right? Really bad because I just peeked 1 angle that I didn't check. So for all I know, I'm gonna get peeked here in main and just got a gun down like a fucking degenerate, right? So I might get shot here, which is really bad. I should just slowly but surely clean the other side and so on. So this is kind of bad. Whatever, I kind of noticed that, so I flash straight, break the wall here. I'm still not sure where enemies are. They might be behind there, so I'm flashing into the room. Notice how I bounce it. I bounce it in a way here, so it still hits whatever is, let me see, let's double tap here. Whatever is behind here, if there's something there, I still get that flash on that. So I flash once in here to get that in, flash here, run in, hard pick this guy who had now, as you can see, he had now gone out here to set off an angle on me. And then there's a crossfire because there's another guy here. He got flashed and his buddy got flashed. So I peeked 2 angles at the same time here from 2 different crossfires. Didn't fully drone it up because I was really greedy on this kill, which is my bad, and that's a misplay from my side. And I should die here because I'm getting shot on the side by what I do believe is their frost. or something similar. I'm getting shot from the side. I should die here immediately, but I don't. I run in here and I shoot on this guy. The frost is also stunned. I instead of reloading here, because I do understand that he will also have to reload because he probably burned most of his ammo, I pull out my sidearm and I push back into the room, thinking that there's only 2 players in here. Now here I could have reflashed to make sure that nobody pushed from my left side, which will end up, the mute will come from my left side and take me out. But I was very, very greedy on keeping pressure on this frost player, making sure that he was stuck in his reload. So I'm going to push in here with a pistol and get a kill, and then I'm going to get shot from this side. Logically, again, had I reflashed, this guy would be stunned once more. Most likely the frost would also be stunned. I could run in with the pistol, get him, and potentially use my last bullet to take out the mute. Now again, this was a 1v3 situation, and it was a bad play for me. You can see how I'm playing it bad, but just because I used utility to enter, instead of just hard peeking myself, it grants me such an opportunity to still get frags and still come out. Even though I spray my entire magazine, transferring from one guy here to the other side of the room, I spray my entire magazine instead of stop shooting and flicking to the guy. Mechanically bad, generally positioning bad, but because of utility, it saves my ass. Now in this last part, I just want to make sure that like we kind of get it really, really nicely broken down. So what you need to remember is to use your utility a little bit differently for different spot. Number one here is a really good nade spot on bank, for example, a good way to clear one of the areas. So you can see here, I'm just going to chuck out a nade, hold it 2 times, bounce it here. Watch out that you don't bounce it on this little sign that's up here. Let me see if I can get all the way back. You can see this little sign here. Make sure you don't bounce it on this one, right? So you toss it next to that, right? Use back to just open up the soft wall if that is already opened, right? And that nade will land right behind desk here. Now you can toss it a little bit further if you want to get all the way out, but it's a really good way just to clear desk immediately. If somebody's camping there, there's always some idiot that tries to camp here, especially in the lower elo, especially like gold and so on. There's always somebody that tries to camp this one when you're playing on bank. So it's a really easy way to land an effective nade, just on an easy spot, and again without really risking you peeking that area yourself. Now the last thing I want to leave you here is something that I recorded previously, which is just me breaking down a way to use gridlock to use again these more, instead of just hard tossing. You saw the first thing I did on Beatbug, where I just was hard tossing them onto the staircase. I was hard tossing it out into areas, right? So I was peaking the angle that I wanted to lock down. That is not always necessarily easy, especially if you want to use your utility, for example, such as a zoning device, right? You could normally will use that to move somebody, right? You don't want to peak the angle because there's probably somebody there. That's why you want to drop it, right? To make them move away. And I will show you a way to do this in gridlock on bank. This is pre-recorded, so hopefully this is nicely edited in. So let me just break down how one alternative way to clear bank and pushing through bank easily. Okay, so here's the example. You're playing gridlock and you're gonna push in on this bottom bomb side right here, right? So the first thing that you will come on when you're trying to enter server room here is that there is a couple of different angles. There might be somebody hiding behind here. As soon as you peek this angle, there you can get shot from here and here at the same time. That's 2 angles that you need to somehow cover. Plus again, he can of course still be hiding behind here and peeking this third angle, so that's in theory 3 angles. And if you go out onto the bomb side and you somehow can clear this, and you kind of bolt in, there's nobody behind server, and you're kind of clearing this, right? And you want to then clear server, then all of a sudden you can get shot from this angle. And that last angle here is the big one, right? Because a lot of roamers, like if you're trying to enter here, right, you might have broken down this wall, you might have broken down this wall, right? You're trying to enter here, you're trying to look for picks, right? A roamer can just come down from stairs and have a pretty strong angle, right? And if the roamer is just here and just holding this angle, that can be very, very devastating, as you have difficulty entering anything into this room, essentially denying a lot of this. So you now have to either roam him or you need to somehow clear him. That's where utility comes into play. So first of all, first thing you can do when you're playing here is you can bounce off a smoke to try to get a better entry. Now I'll try to get a good one. I think it's right about there, if I remember correctly. It's not, if it's Batman. Then it's like right about here. Okay, right, so this blocks off this area and this area. Actually, it was the same smoke, right? So this block out both of these, so you're allowed to clear this one for free if you want to, right? Now you can only need to use 1 smoke a day. I used 2 because I threw one kind of wrong, right? But that blocks here and this angle, so you're allowed to push this angle for free. So if there's somebody there, he's dead, because you all have angles on them, and you should be able to gun him down pretty easily, especially since you can just peek and pre-fire, right? It should be pretty easy. Now, number 2 is now area denying this area here, right? So let's see how good I landed this one. This didn't land as well as I wanted to, right? You see I didn't get this corner right here because I threw it a little bit too short. I should have managed to land it right about here, so it would have denied this corner. But it's fine. Oh, okay, never mind. Now it's expanded fully. Okay, so I did actually get all these corners right. Now, of course, an attacker can still clear his way through here, but at least then I know there's a roamer coming from the side. So now I don't really have to worry about this angle as long as I don't hear shooting from it. So now I don't have to care about when I now push up, of course, wait for the gridlock to expand and fully deploy. Right now I don't have to care about the fact that I need to clear this angle and constantly flick back. Constantly flick back all the time, right? Which might do it like here, and then I'll leave myself open from one of their angles. There's numerous ways you should enter this area. Logically, after clearing this one, I will have 2 more gridlocks left. Now, you can, of course, in lower elos, just drop one here, because there's a lot of people that like to just, like, lay down behind this one. However, one of the big things that happens normally is that they open up this wall right here with C4 or shotguns or whatever they open with. So a lot of teams like to open this one up here for LOS. Right, so they can play outside of here. Normally they can play from one to the other bomb side as well, right? This is the other bomb side. So a lot of dark players, especially I like to do this when I'm playing Rook, right? Like to sit with an ACOG and just scope across, right? However, so logically, there's a couple of ways to deal with this, right? Number 1 is, of course, to gridlock far, right? Now I no longer have to care about anybody peeking this angle over here anymore, right? So that's one less entry point. So now this angle and this angle has been covered, and now the only angle I really need to care about are these walls right here. Now I can peek this in numerous ways, right? I can just shoot a hole in here and then throw my gridlock and then miss it. Perfect, right? So normally, right, getting a gridlock here stops them from playing aggression from this side. And again, if they want to retake now, they have an issue, right? Because if they want to retake, there's a gridlock here and there's a gridlock here. So they need to gun their way through one of them, making me aware where they're pushing, right? So that's a very, very simple way of how you use gridlock with long-term area denial, especially this long, like, zoning area denial that actually stops this from being accessible. And again, if they want to access it, yes, they can break it, but then they're giving away information to you. So this is a really good way to slowly but surely cleaning angles. And if you have good accuracy, then it's just to win these firefights. And because Gridlock's gun is so fucking good and can have so much suppressing fire, this becomes very, very easy. And you play with a shotgun, you have the utility to open up holes anywhere. Now, I do know that you guys, in some of these videos, kind of want to make you guys maybe blow yourself up for the breaching charge, which is one of my favorite things to do. However, I think that this is very, very important. I didn't see a lot of stuff when I was kind of searching around what content was already made on this. I didn't see really any videos. I might have searched wrong. There might be some hidden videos that I didn't find. But when I was searching around on this stuff, searching for utility guides for Rainbow Six Siege, I didn't really find any. So I thought that this was a really good thing. It doesn't just affect Rainbow. It affects most games like Counter-Strike and Project Valorant, that will be coming out soon, and most games where you can use smoke, flashes, mollies, and frag grenades, but how we can use them to either force somebody out, deal some damage, deny an area, and making our games easier for ourselves, especially in a game where Rainbow Six Siege, where the hitboxes are huge, and it's so easy to lock down an angle, and if you peek the wrong angle at the wrong time, you immediately get deleted, you immediately get melted, get one-tapped, whatever, and it can just feel like you're losing a lot of control. Using utility like this is a good way of regaining control, and I hope that you guys like the video. Again, a like on it, a comment, subscribe and change this around really means a lot. I put a lot of time and effort into making this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that it taught you something. But as always, guys, my name is Jonal. Peace, take care, this is positive. I love you guys very, very much. As always, keep the enemy in your crosshair.